What's going on? How y'all doing this morning? My first video today is going to be about that old, dependable, tap dancing, love himself, hating person himself known as Kanye West. One of the guys who just can't help himself from tap dancing no matter what he says or what he does. He went on his little rant, I think it was in South Carolina, for his generic wannabe run for office, whatever the garbage he's trying to pimp another whack album, or some whack shoes, or try to slurp up the Trump. I don't know. We know what Kanye, the meds that made him say any and everything. But anyway, this situation is sad. Funny thing was ironic. I was watching the movie Harriet over the weekend, and I'll go so far back with Harriet Tubman. Read about it, know about it since I was a child, and for him to sit up there and say she was a fraud and she didn't do anything for the slaves and what have you, and people that look like us, he just adds more fuel to the fire of his self-hating ways. Harriet Tubman was 100 times a person in her sleep than this turkey is awake. All he's ever done is be a self-egotistical, self-centered narcissist with stick to making music. Like Ice Cube, Ice Cube would say stick to making the music, because he can't even do that right no more. So much for being a minister. How did that turn out? He always is jumping to something to push an agenda, and yet he has no concrete of anything. I have a problem when people go for our civil rights leaders, or people that have made a difference, and especially when you touch upon slavery, and when you go into an area where when you open up your mouth, you knows not what you speak of. And that's Kanye's thing. He sits there and he tap dances and he cooning and shucking and bucking and shuffling the Hollywood plantation at all costs. And it won't be long before they'll be done with him and wipe their hands away at him. But you see, this is what happens. They didn't make him feel like he's a prize chosen one, like he's special. Like he ain't, more like special ed, and not the rap either. I'm talking about the OG special ed. And this turkey's embarrassing. And things come out of his mouth. I don't even know what his relevance is. I know that you need meds for what he says, and so on and so forth. And he really goes off the deep rail. His antics at one particular time were interesting, juvenile, but when Obama called him out, that's where it was embarrassing and the bucket stopped. But he still hasn't taken heed to it, and that's all he wants. He models himself after Trump and other self-narcissists. The difference is that when he plays this particular game, he doesn't understand that eventually they're going to throw him off the bus and roll him over and laugh at him, and it won't be long now. And personally, I can't wait, because this 15 minutes can last a lot longer. As I've always said, he's one of the most overrated artists I've ever heard, and his mouth is neck and neck to it, and I don't get the hype. He was halfway okay once upon a time, but he's just a clown. That's my thoughts it takes about Kanye West dissing Harriet Tubman. He need to look in the mirror and ask himself, what has he done? And really, what has he done to uplift? Especially when you're trying to take on politics and you're way over your eyeballs in it and don't know what you're doing. All right, hit that like and subscribe, and the bell rings. A new video. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for one another, and stop letting these entertainers manipulate situations, especially when they're out their jurisdiction. I'm out. Peace.